The Twin Towers were an architectural and engineering marvel that broke from standard skyscraper construction practices of the time. Most skyscrapers were designed to support themselves through large steel columns spaced throughout the building. The Twin Towers used an innovative tube design. The exterior walls themselves supported the bulk of the structure with interlacing steel columns that formed a steel tube. The wall was put up in prefabricated sections. A dense bundle of columns formed the tower's core. Essentially, each tower was a box within a box. This design gave the building remarkable stability to withstand the tremendous forces of wind and to support the sheer weight of the building.
It was a new concept in design engineering which allowed renters of office space to maximize. They had unlimited, unobstructed, no columns, all open floor space. They could partition it and design it as they would want to. So it was a great advantage for them. A sense of national pride. You're an Indian, you're an iron worker, you're working on a legendary building. It was great. I really remember quite proudly that I was there.
Jesus, you were young.
I was young. I was 20 years old. Don't forget, it's 46 years ago.
I was 19.
I think your father was the Bull-Nut boss, wasn't he, on the South Tower?
Tower B, yeah.
Yeah.
In charge of bolting up all the outside of the buildings.
Yeah.
Well, my father was on his way out and all his knees were giving out on him. So that was his last job. So it was nice to work with him. Yeah, the old timers really did a lot for the
name.
Yeah. From Aguasasne was 18 years old when he started work on the Twin Towers and stayed for 5 years on the project. He arrived at the World Trade Center site while it was still a massive excavation pit.
And we were the first raising gang to go to the World Trade Center hole. And they had a big ramp going from the West Side Highway, going into 16 acres of empty hole, 132 feet below street level, with nothing in it other than the base plates. And the laborers were doing the mud sucking. They had big mud suckers sucking because they kept flooding and then pumping the water back into the Hudson so we wouldn't drown down there.
Bill Sears returned to the World Trade Center in 1979 to help erect the 360-foot antenna on the North Tower.
They're burning, you know, and I said, holy mackerel.
Many iron workers were working on nearby buildings when the planes crashed and witnessed the horror firsthand.
I was about a mile away, 2 miles away, and the first plane hit, flew right over us. Actually, I was standing on open iron, we were hanging nets. He's going to clip the antenna. I thought he was going to clip the antenna, but he went and made clean impact right into it. And the fireball, I can remember like it was yesterday, a fireball went past the antenna. It was like, we were just like shocked. I had to grab the iron. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
2,753 people lost their lives in New York City on September 11th.
Just as I got to Chambers Street, that's when the first tower came down. I was on the West Side Highway, and I could hear that roar. It sounded like a train, and all of a sudden that big dust ball started heading uptown. That was terrible over there. Those people were caked with, you know, concrete dust and asbestos, and so that was a very bad day.
Angry, I was furious because that was my landmark. That was all our landmark, all the guys that worked on it. To me, my connection was the building itself. In the background here, this is the north wall of the North Tower, and that's where the actual plane crashed through.
Stopped and I looked and I could see the lights going on in the skeleton of the building. Man, oh man, this is for an Indian kid. You did pretty goddamn good, man. You hung in there, you were there from the start, you're there from the finish. I might as well retire because I don't think I'll ever top this. I mean, I worked on big buildings again, but they were never like the World Trade Center was. That was the ultimate job to me. There'll never be another.